Hey everybody, so today I'm here to talk all about my plant-based journey. I made a video a couple years back, and that was at that point I had been completely meat-free for about a year, I want to say. And I was talking about the changes that I noticed and how this plant-based vegan diet has affected me. And since several years have passed since that video, I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update, give you a longer term scope of the benefits that I've seen from being on a plant-based diet, the pros and the cons, just the whole shebang. So before I dive into the changes that I've noticed, just want to give you guys a little bit of background for those of you that don't know, because I still get a lot of questions even now about why I decided to cut out meat from my diet, how long I've been on this path, and stuff like that. So what prompted me to completely cut out meat? Okay, so I found myself years back being really repulsed at the idea of eating meat. I started to just look at the food I was eating. It would make me queasy. It would just turn my stomach. I just could not eat it. So slowly but surely, I started cutting out different types of meat until I got down to seafood. That was the one thing that I was kind of holding out on. And then after a period of time, I figured, why not just cut out seafood as well, since I already don't eat the other types of meat. Might as well cut out seafood, because that was starting to kind of get to me as well. So I was like, okay, I think I'm going to do this. I'm just going to go completely plant-based. No meat, no seafood, no dairy, no eggs, no anything derived from animals. So that's pretty much why I decided to cut out meat and animal byproducts. Meat started to gross me out. It just, I couldn't stand the look and the smell of it anymore for some reason, and so I decided to stop eating it. So at this point now, it's been at least 4 years. I can't remember exactly when I stopped, but I know it's been at least 4 years, and I have not slipped up or anything like that. Have not eaten any meat, no seafood, and so it's been 4+ years. Some people ask if it's difficult to follow this type of regimen, this type of diet. For me, at this point, since I've been doing it for several years now, it's really not difficult at all. This is my normal. This is just the way it is for me. So I don't find it difficult, but I can see how other people would. Some people are like, you're so disciplined to stick to this and be able to resist meat. But for me, I really am not tempted by meat. I do not ever want to eat it. I don't find myself ever craving it. It just does not appeal to me. I know some people who have different reasons for choosing this way of eating. They may still be tempted by meat. They still may crave the taste of it, and it still might be appealing to them, so they might struggle. But for me, it does not appeal to me at all. So I think that is another reason why it is kind of like really easy to me at this point. I do still get questions about my family and my friends. Is my family on a vegan diet as well? Do any of my friends follow a vegan diet? And they don't. I am still the only one that I know that's in my life that does not eat meat or animal byproducts. But for me, it works. Everyone understands that I don't eat meat, and it's not like a big deal. So that's pretty much the short version of my plant-based journey. And so let's go ahead and jump into the changes that I've noticed, because I've noticed a bunch, but there are 5 major ones that I think that you guys should know about. So first, and this is one that I mentioned in my last video, and I wanted to tell you guys that this is still the case. I no longer suffer from insomnia. I used to have horrible insomnia. I could never fall asleep easily. I would literally sit in bed for hours, just like counting sheep and trying to force myself to go to sleep, and it wouldn't happen. I would wake up several times in the middle of the night. I was always a horrible sleeper for as long as I can recall. And it really affected my life so much for so many years. It was horrible. I cannot tell you how bad it was. I was always sluggish. I was always sleepy. I would wake up irritable. and now my insomnia, my sleep issues have completely resolved. I fall asleep so easily now, and sometimes it's kind of freaky just how easily I fall asleep, because I'll be in bed, I'll, get ready to wind down, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm kind of tired. I guess I'll be up for maybe 15 minutes more and I'll go to sleep. But no, I won't even last 5 minutes. I'm out like this and I am gone. My sleep is a lot more restful. I wake up energized. I just feel so good in the morning. So that is a big one. And that happened, I want to say, maybe a few weeks to a few months after I went completely plant-based. My sleep issues started to really get a lot better, to the point now where I sleep so well. And I love it. I can't believe it, because I never thought that I would be at this point. I thought I was destined to always have sleep issues, always be an insomniac, but it has resolved itself and I'm so happy about that. Another benefit that I have noticed to this diet lifestyle change is my skin, my hair, my nails. They have just taken off. They started flourishing. For those of you that have been following me for a long time, that have been with me for a while, you have seen my hair. When I first began YouTube, you guys saw my hair. It was in horrible shape. It was thin, it was brittle, it did not seem to want to grow. And I thought that that was just my hair. It would just never grow past a certain length. I mean, it was short. It was not healthy at all. And back then I wasn't taking the best care of it, but I still wasn't doing anything too crazy to it to where it was just in that bad of shape. But once I cut out the meat, once I started eating more fruits and vegetables, and I adopted this way of eating, it's almost insane how it changed. I never thought that my hair would be full. I never thought that it would be healthy and growing and thriving. And my hair, I'm just so happy with it right now. It has just exceeded any and all expectations that I ever could have for it, because I didn't think it could ever even do what it's been doing. So that's a big one as well, and you guys have seen it. You've seen my journey, my hair growth journey. You guys have been with me. I haven't taken any type of magic potions or anything like that. I think my diet has been so instrumental in the turnaround of my hair. I am sure of it. I am sure of it. And my skin has always been, it hasn't been terrible. It's never been really bad. But over these past few years, even though I've gotten older, I feel like my skin looks the best that it has in my entire life. It's vibrant, it's smooth, it's glowing. It's extremely rare that I get a breakout, a blemish, or anything like that. And I attribute that to the things that I put into my body, the things that I eat. People ask me all the time about my skincare regimen, and I really don't use anything crazy. I don't use any products that are, really strong and expensive or anything. I use like simple stuff, and just to keep my face clean. And everything else, I feel like it's from the inside out. I really do believe that. Also, my nails, they used to be brittle, used to break all the time. My nails, like my hair, they didn't seem to want to grow. My nails are really strong now, and they grow nicely. So happy about that. Hair, skin, and nails, since I've been on this vegan plant-based diet, have been 2 thumbs up. Third thing that I noticed, and I mentioned this in, what was that video? It's my natural hygiene routine video. I noticed that my menstrual cycle, my period is, well, I don't have one right now because I am pregnant, but before that, I noticed that my periods had gotten a lot shorter. They had gotten a lot more tolerable. I used to have really bad cramps. I used to have periods that lasted 4 to 5 days, and they were heavy. And now like I said, not right now, but since I started eating plant-based, my periods have just become so much less of a hassle. They've shortened considerably to about 2 days. My flow is a lot lighter. I don't have the severe cramps that I used to. It just took so much of the unpleasantness and the apprehension around that time away from it. And when I mentioned this in that video, I got a lot of comments from subscribers and followers saying the same thing. They noticed the same thing as well. Shorter periods, they weren't in as much pain. Also, this may be TMI, but I have to mention it because it's real life. We all do it. I am extremely regular now, which I am kind of ashamed to say that in the past I wasn't before I decided to go plant-based. Yeah, I just wasn't. But now it's like clockwork. My system just, I know when I gotta go. And that to me just signifies that my body is working the way it should be. It's working at its optimal level. You know, it's not holding on to the waste. It's flushing it out. It's getting all of the bad stuff out in a timely manner, which I'm very happy about. So yeah, more pleasant periods, extremely regular. That's another benefit that I have noticed. Also, after I had been on this path for a while, I started to notice that I was craving healthier foods. Like, I would really get the strongest urge to have something, a green leafy vegetable, a fruit salad, some nuts. Like, I really started to crave those hardcore. It was kind of funny because if you had seen my diet, let's say 10 years ago, you would probably be absolutely disgusted because I was that person that always ate fast food. I was that person that was always eating the unhealthy stuff, always eating snacks. I rarely ate vegetables like that. It was just, my diet was piss poor. It was horrible. And so if you would have told me that, you know, down the line I would be craving these foods that I really didn't give a second look to before, I would have thought you were out of your mind. But yeah, I started to crave these, you know, healthier foods. I started wanting to drink more water. And that's another thing as well. I used to hate drinking water, which is pretty sad. But yeah, I started to notice a shift in the things that I would want, the things that my body would crave. And now I get excited about green juices. I get excited about roasted vegetables. And these are things that are just so much better for your long-term health. As we all know, I rarely get sick. I can't even remember the last time that I had an illness. I'm trying to think right now, like, when was the last time I was sick? I can't think of it. I rarely get sick. And the last thing I want to mention about how this vegan diet has changed my life is I really do see a change in my mindset. I have just, and this comes with just growing and maturing and aging as well. But specifically for me, adopting this type of diet has really made me more open-minded, more compassionate, especially when it comes to people's lifestyle choices. A lot of times people resist what they don't understand. And so for me, having gone through this, I really do understand how transformative it can be, how difficult it can be at times, especially when you're starting something completely new, something that's uncharted territory for you. So yeah, I'm just a lot more open-minded. I'm a lot more willing to try new things, and that's definitely increased the quality of my life because I used to be really stuck in my ways. I didn't want to do a lot of things outside of my comfort zone or try things outside of my comfort zone. But now it's like I'm a new person. In that sense, so I really like that as well because I feel like I've grown a lot through this whole process. Now, I do want to touch on a few drawbacks that I have personally experienced, and I'm sure other people have as well that decide to embark on a vegan diet or even a vegan lifestyle. So first, running into judgmental and critical people can be a real draining thing. You also get a lot of unfounded questions, and especially online, I see a lot of well, where do you get your protein from? Or that's not enough food, or you need to eat meat because of XYZ. Just a lot of people that try to be really snarky to downplay what you're doing. And again, goes back to people resist what they don't understand. And for me at this point, I'm just like, okay, whatever, because I know what I'm doing. I know that I'm healthy. And the funniest thing is when it's people who have the worst diets, they have all types of health issues, but then they want to question you about why you want to eat fruits and vegetables. It's the most absurd thing I have ever seen. But yeah, you can feel a lot of ignorance, especially from people that just are not aware of the many reasons why people would choose to not eat meat. Also, it can be a little tricky and slightly annoying at times trying to eat out at restaurants, because like I mentioned earlier, I'm the only one in my life that does not eat meat. So a lot of the times I go to just regular restaurants. I don't go to specialty places that cater to vegan, vegetarian cuisine. So I have to navigate finding things to eat on regular menus, and sometimes it can be extremely monotonous. I know that I have eaten a side of fries and a salad more times than I would ever want because the particular restaurant didn't have anything else that didn't contain anything with animals in it. So that's like my go-to when I can't find anything else on the menu, a salad and some french fries, and it gets very boring after a while. So that's one thing. But for the most part, chain restaurants especially, they're easier to find things. You can Google before you go and just Google like the vegan menu for XYZ restaurant. And usually for the big chain places, I can find a list of vegan friendly options that they serve. And then I also come across servers that really just aren't educated on what vegan even means. I will ask, oh, what are your vegan options here? And they'll suggest something with seafood in it. And I'm like, no, I don't. That doesn't qualify. So they're like, no fish, no chicken. I'm like, no, none of that. Sometimes people just aren't aware of what that encompasses. And then the final thing is, it can be a little isolating when you're like me, maybe, and you're the only person that does not eat meat in your circle. That can be, for some people, isolating and a little difficult because a lot of people want someone that they can relate to. I've gotten even comments from people who they say they want to, get into eating this way or into the vegan lifestyle, but their family doesn't support it, or they don't live alone and they don't know how to do that when everyone else around them still eats meat. That can definitely be tough for some people, but like I said, for me, it's not difficult at all. I know how to separate and still be able to coexist. For that, I would just suggest to do what you want to do. Even if no one supports it, initially still do what you want to do. If this is a diet that you want to try out for yourself for whatever reason, I think you should try it. And it's crazy how as you go along, and maybe if they see the changes within you, they'll start to come around. Because I know initially when I said no more meat, I'm not going to eat it anymore, people were just like, okay. They just kind of left me to my own devices. But once I started seeing and feeling the changes, once I started making up and coming across some really, really delicious vegan food, people were willing to try it, willing to test it out. And so you will be surprised how people come around. But if they don't, even if they don't, then you still have to do what you want to do, what makes you happy. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I think I've covered all of what I wanted to talk about. If you guys have any questions at all about a vegan diet or anything that I've experienced, or you want my take on anything at all, leave your comments below and I will get to as many of you guys as I can. And yeah, but final thoughts, I feel really good. I get everything I need, everything I want, delicious food, and I'm satisfied and I'm happy, and I'm just really excited about the benefits and the changes that I've seen, and I do not foresee myself ever going back to meat. So yeah, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. But anyway, thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you soon on my next one. Bye.